Hi everyone. Who's looking forward to me getting my ass kicked by judge commentary, man? Cause I feel like it's gonna happen. So tier 7. I think we were almost done with it.
How many tiers are there anyway?
15.
Jesus.
We're approaching the halfway point of the contest entries.
Ah.
There was a lot of entries.
I noticed that.
Alright, there's Searchman. I'm running for Hunter Woman. Okay, okay, okay. Alright. Skull Sands Megatel 4. They score a 52.35 but had a 25% penalty, so it would have been 77% maybe? Huh.
Sounds right.
1 element, 5 tokens. Let's see what this is all about. Of course. Of course it will be Megalovania. Nothing wrong with that, but oh boy, what is this?
You're gonna have a bad time.
They're shield attackers, essentially. Oh. Not what I was expecting here at the start. Yeah. I'm already being reckless.
Yeah, the whole sand thing threw you off there.
God damn it! I typed the exact same way. Dang. Oh god. We've got the Gaster Blasters. No! This is never going to not freak me up. Oh god.
Poo-poo, do something.
Oh god. Man. Oh, thank god, my face.
My face!
Let's put it over here.
Not the pictures!
Ah! Gaster Blaster.
No! Back to me!
Man. Poo-poo.
Poo-poo, you're not helping.
Ah! Fucking gas blaster. Okay, there's probably one here. Sans is goddamn trolling me.
It wouldn't be Sans if he wasn't trolling you.
Guess not.
Sans, please. I'm sorry you. Wait, was Sans ever in Smash Brothers?
Only costumes.
Only costumes.
That didn't work.
Oh, it's a meat costume too. Jesus.
Dang it. Ah!
Whoa!
Oh. Okay.
I just had a weird thought in my brain. What if Poo-poo is Sans?
Game theory is poo-poo Sans.
Yay,
Jesus Christ.
Oh!
One here.
Oh! Okay, no, it's hard to tell which ones are alive and which ones aren't. Fuck.
That was kind of bullshit. Okay, I see the skull down there now. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, oh! So, yeah, there's that, yeah. Go! Oh, that's really bullshit. Nice.
Alright, are we actually fighting Sans after all this? Yes, we sure are. Jesus.
Fish and chips.
Ah!
Oh, so close.
I really wanted to do it Buster only, but let's see if he has any weakness. Because he is taking 2 damage from the regular Buster.
4 damage, there we go. There you go.
Well, I succeeded in the genocide run, something I never did with the actual Undertale. Oh boy.
The game was boring for me, so I didn't even bother.
Not gonna lie, that name did not give positive expectations. However, where I expected dumb Megalovania memes was instead a genuine attempt at a Sans level, so hey, I'm impressed there. The enemy set definitely forms the core of this place, for better or for worse. The exclamation mark and triple dot enemies are the prominent one. My only issue is that I wish there was a hint in which type was spawning. The Gaster Blaster are all just around great, with their placement rewarding strong observational skills. And Sanj Joe is a lot more interesting than regular skeleton jokes. And he gets some creative setup with the diamond token and level ending. That being said, their movement blocker needs some kind of visual. It looks and feels like a glitch right now, even though it's not. Biggest letdown was Sans Mat. There's only one of them, and he's not hard to kill before he attacks, so I really wonder why he was there. As far as the level itself, it's definitely not an easy one. It took a lot of practice to get a no death, no tanks run, but it's completely doable, especially with the heals at the checkpoints. It also has a decent difficulty curve, though dodging the first shield Toge heroes feels harder than any later instances, even after a practice. Beyond that, having the layout be so obviously Skullman's is a bit of a negative on creativity. Not to say this isn't creative, far from it. I can't call this fully original when this much is a direct rip from Mega Man 4. Then again, that's the thing that makes the most sense with Sans, its bones. The level still lands on a high note though. Skull Sans himself is fast, frantic, fun, and ultimately a lot more fair than the original Sans. I suppose makes sense. You're not a genocidal murder child here. He's probably the best part of the level, and what's before him is no slouch. While there are definitely some issues in here, this was overall an excellent challenge, and a fine example of a hard level. Shinryu. I was prepared for another full-on meme level the moment I saw this stage name. Lo and behold, it's actually a legitimate stage that plays its gimmick fairly straight. Aside from said gimmicks, one of the main things that stuck out to me was the stage difficulty. It's actually not quite as hard as I thought it'd be given the source material. Everything has a pretty clear introduction here, and the level structure even gives you some hints to avoid being blindsided by the Gaster Blaster, which at first I actually missed, but they're there. Granted, it's still possible to miss out on a few of these, like the first Skeleton Joe's warp ability, or the preview of the Gaster Blaster immediately afterwards, if you don't go for the small health items. I would say this is my biggest gripe with the level, but I actually ended up having more issues with some of the enemy's spawner placements. I found myself getting hit frequently while standing in the safe zones in between some of the spawners, which made getting past them a bit finicky. It's definitely possible to get through without taking damage, but it's a very precise process. Despite that one issue, however, I wouldn't say this stage gets too out of hand, unless you're going for the tokens. This is where the level goes from tough but manageable to very punishing. The third token in particular is pretty bad, mostly due to the enemy spawner and Skeleton Joe's placement, making everything way too hectic during the backtrack out of the room. Thankfully, the rest of the main stage isn't anywhere near as chaotic, and the frustration is alleviated thanks to full health refill being at every checkpoint. The boss, meanwhile, is a bit of a grey area, somewhere in between. I wouldn't say he's overwhelming, but he definitely takes some time to get used to if you're buster dueling him. I noticed. That said, Spark Chaser almost completely shuts him down, since it's not only its weakness, but also destroys the tiny shield attackers he summons. Oh, really? So in essence, the fight is only as much of a problem as you're willing to make it. Overall though, I think it's a pretty good attempt at Mega Man-izing some aspect of the Sans fight. Very nice job with this one. Luna, do you mind reading this one? I guess she's not there right now. Humor is destitute. That was certainly a bizarre stage, but it's certainly not bad. Never have played Undertale, so some of the reference may be lost on me here, but I'm quite aware of the Sans character and its meme glory. The enemies are certainly quite interesting, if you can call them enemies. They're more than glorified stage obstacle in the form of spawner, and the spawnees travel through only a few tiles before getting despawned. Pretty unique, that. Some jumps can feel a bit too tight at times, though where Mega Man would most likely get hit by one of the spawner enemies, maybe if the spawn rates were a bit slower. In one section you are upside down. You can rush coil back to the previous screen, then fall into the section above from the underside. Obviously not intentional, as things can get a bit wacky. Interesting. The sand shows the concept is neat with how they prevent you from moving past them, making the players here have to find their way around the terrain to dispose of them, or just use weapons. Though that aspect can also be rather awkward in some layouts. Together with their behavior of reacting to your buster shots, they can cause them to throw several bombs at once. Things can get hectic. Skull Sands is a fast-paced and incredibly fun boss fight. It likes to play with your gravity and Skull Sands himself likes to teleport from side to side to throw you off. As long as you keep calm and react to the attacks, it's a satisfying fight. Its sprite's also nicely done and well animated. Flashman. As a Skullman remake, this delivers everything I want. Well, it's not really meant to be a Skullman remake, but anyways. I like how the bones of the original are preserved, yet the challenges are revamped to be almost unrecognizable. So, same overall layout, different specific on each screens. Fresh colors on familiar tile, miniature shield attackers, updating skeleton Joes, and weaponized background decoration mixed nicely with tricky new gimmicks and a wild boss fight. Good choice of sound effects too. Okay, he does know it's a Undertale crossover. Key elements of the original fight with Sans are present and accounted for. Endless streams of things to dodge, laser shooting skulls, gravity flipping, lots of bones. I would have liked moving platforms and more of the metagaming elements that make the fight so unique. I like the quirky music remix and how it seamlessly transitioned to boss music. Indeed, the boss feels like an extension of the rest of the level, which appropriately makes the whole level feel like a drawn-out boss fight. However, the design lacks elegance, and the sudden and unfair difficulty feels like a misguided stab at authenticity. Challenge progression is all over the place, and level expects the player to be an expert from the get-go. Special weapons are practically mandatory to avoid damage, and Breakdash demolishes half of the level. Really?
No!
Invisible force fields are an incomprehensible cheap shot. They need a more careful introduction. Well, it's the skeleton, the sand Joes essentially that just do that. Tiles missing behind the boss gates, laser persisting after the boss dies. Really? And other little problems also hold the level back. When judging began, I couldn't appreciate any references to Undertale because I hadn't played it. This is one of the levels that prompted me to give the game a spin. Now that I'm in the know, my opinion is largely the same as it was initially. This level is a mess, yet I enjoyed it anyhow. I could quote an Undertale meme here, but I never really bothered with the Undertale genocide route, so yeah, I never did the genocide route either. In full disclosure, despite being a furry at the time of judging, I had not really put much time into Toby Fox's stuff. So many references from them went over my head. Another remake stage. Way more— oh god, this is a long one. Way more literally.
Yay.
This entire stage map is just Coleman's, with new enemies and gimmicks. But it's amazing how much— also I just noticed the score is 69, nice. But it's amazing how much those new enemies and gimmicks change how this stage feels to play. I'm not just playing Coleman's stage with a few enemies spawn, swap, or Coleman's stage, but worse. It's a new level. It has a new identity. It's a stage to itself that took a chance to use Coleman's layout and against the odds defied them. This isn't Coleman's stage, it's Sans. I don't recommend anyone trying this for future contests. This is incredibly hard to pull off. The first time I encountered this stage, I had a bad... you had a bad time, okay. Or rather, I initially experienced this by proxy. So, Loyana, who had played Undertale to completion, couldn't figure out what was going on. I, who hadn't at the time, certainly couldn't figure it out. It seemed cheap, and we were getting frustrated. We'd already gone through several annoying stages that day, and this just seemed like another one of those things. We came into it tired. We figured it wasn't fair on the level, and just left my notes, a placeholder score, and planned to come back to it another day. Folks, this is an example of why you need to take your time with these things. And when I finally got to play the level myself, my opinion pretty much flipped. This is actually a pretty decent level. It does have issues, but let's say the obvious positive. These are some cool enemies. Combining the Sand Joes as both enemy and stage gimmick is an inspired touch. And the former background elements, the large dinosaur skull, take vengeance. They aren't cheap, they blend in, but are for the most part, you don't encounter these guys in the midst of battle, so you have time to look at your surrounding. They also have a pretty good tell when they activate, at least for the horizontal ones. Dodging by reaction is fairly reasonable. The enemy spawners provide some hard but fair timing challenge. Being able to kill most of them with the buster and in a pinch use weapon against the other helps if the player isn't able to reliably manage it. The biggest issue with the stage in general is the visual. Sure, it's a pretty ugly recolor of Skullman, but that's not all I mean. The hitboxes all seem off. The gravity flip never seemed to quite trigger when you expect it. I did notice that. Just how close can you stand next to the spawners? But as cool as the Sanjos is, he's also my biggest problem on this stage. There's enough confusion when you run into him the first time in the heat of battle. It's often way too difficult to tell you got in close to the guy. The sound effect is just too generic to cue you in by itself. This often leads to be combo into oblivion and dying if you accidentally spawn one in by backtracking and suddenly no longer finding a safe platform to find in your way. The confusion could have been greatly mitigated by means of an additional visual effect, even if it's just a burst of energy or something to show you're being pushed back. The fight against Sans... The fight against Sans is the highlight of the stage. A hectic looking fight that has clearly had a lot of thought put into it. Other than a potentially cheap hit at the start of the fight, he has good tells. To be fair, if I remember seeing from the Sans fight, it starts with a potential for a cheap hit if you don't have fast reflex, so I think that's what the fight was going for, but anyways. Other than the potential cheap hit at the start of the fight, he has good tells, and once you grok how he works? I don't know what that word means. He's fun. Good job with this guy. Even like this fight enough to come back and no damage buster it. Wow, congrats. With better visuals and tells, I might have had a more positive first experience. It is a little hard to tell what's going on even on replays. The easier your mechanics and hitbox are to tell, the better. As it stands, this is still a pretty good level, if a bit difficult. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting with this stage originally, honestly. It was better than I thought. I was also expecting a complete meme stage, and it was hard, but that was alright.
Yeah, okay, so the word grok, G-R-O-K, it's understand something intuitively or by empathy.
Ah. I see.
So in other words, they're basically saying, yeah, I empathize with that shit. It's sand. What do you expect? It's sand.
Ah, this tree's making me go nuts. Just think how high it goes. I want to climb up to the top. Let's get to the top. Okay, next level, Solar Inferno with a score of 52.60. I see 40 and 41 in there. 1 element, 5 tokens. Oh boy, and we have a skip teleporter immediately.
Wow, that's bad.
This level's background graphics and custom flashbang effect are very likely to cause eye strain. One judge got a headache after playing, and the level just barely avoided disqualification for health reason. You can see the graphic and test the flashback effect in the room on the right. We toned it down as best as we could, but if you feel uncomfortable, please go left for the elemented tokens. Okay, so what are the effects?
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
No wonder it was 96.
It doesn't feel uncomfortable to me, but
like it's like I think it's
we'll
more.
See how it's like.
It's probably more like for a like someone with epilepsy, probably.
It could be, yeah.
That's probably why the guy got the headaches, because like seeing that constantly will hurt somebody's eyeballs.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's already hurting my eyeballs. Poo-poo, look away!
Oh.
I don't want Poo-poo hurting his eyeballs.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Is it up here? It is. Hello, warp zone. Can we go down the pipes? No.
Oh.
Welcome to warp zone.
What is that?
It was just for a token.
The tokens. The tokens.
Don't know if this rising lava is instant death, and honestly, I'd rather not find out.
No, because that's like...
Okay. Can I use water shield? Yes. Okay. I don't trust these crack floors. Let's go, poo-poo. Go away. Go away. Dang it. This is actually the first level that oh god. Okay, well it's not instant death. We found out. That is though.
No, it's instant death.
Oh god, and there was no. I didn't reach a checkpoint yet.
Oh, that's bad. At least it saved your token, so.
Yeah, thankfully. Stop following me. Oh.
Ow.
This cracked floor actually does not make you go through it. I thought it would. Then again, I might be just thinking about the other level that has a similar gimmick.
You're the one. gonna do with that? No, 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 no.
Alright, magnet beam it is.
Yay!
This is my face.
Oh, you can't go back anyway.
Oh boy, I can't wait to have to redo this part every time I die. Oh boy, I can't wait to redo this part every time I die.
Oh my god! So that probably wants a lot of points too.
Wait a minute. How?
What? Okay, at least no, you still gotta do it.
Oh boy. Apparently it was a white flash in the original version. I'm glad they toned it down to orange. Because that would have been terrible.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you get there, okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't see how else you're supposed to do this. Alright, what's down here?
Oh.
This is fine. It's cute. Oh my.
Hellfire. Hellfire.
What even is safe at this point? Gotcha! Gotcha!
Whoa!
Ow! Damn it! I can't even reach that. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, mon petit moineau? Oh my! Okay.
You guys are kidding me, right?
God damn it. I see what I have to do, but I need to not break open that particular one. If I have to take tank hits, I will. There we go. And the lava fall. Oh god. Apparently I pressed the right button. Popo, mange-moi pas les orteils, s'il te plaît. Oh boy. Interesting use of the sheep and lux. Those things, though, can go kindly fuck themselves. God. Hey, Lady Luck, can you go fuck yourself? Oh, goodness.
Oh god, it's close. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I did get all the tokens. Ah, man! So much shit.
And your bananas for almost 12 minutes.
Game is actually lagging from all this. Okay, I imagine this is gonna be your weakness. Oh, hide the sun from Kirby.
Holy shit! He's so tiny, but he's gonna kick your ass.
Okay, do you stop, When are you...
Okay. One.
Only does one, but at least it pierces.
Yeah.
What? Why did it do that?
What the hell is this? At least it's not scorching chubby Pikachu.
I mean, nothing can scorch chubby Pikachu.
Sure you
Best.
can. Oh my god, is it doing what that freaking Growlithe did in the Arceus? Fuck that.
Would you aim for the one up there? God damn it. Thank you.
Hey!
Jesus Christ. I'm actually curious now, though, which of the judge actually,
A capsule? What could it be?
need to take a big sip since I have to read all 5 commentary.
I can read some.
Okay, can you read Pachi once we get there? She's the 3rd one.
Yep, sure, no worries.
Alright. Gotta say, warping into a giant room of solar flames is one heck of a first impression. Oh wow, he has broken glasses. Considering fire levels tend to be a dime a dozen, a unique first impression can be useful. Fortunately, the level mixes this impression with a strong enemy set, Sola O makes an excellent turret, and I appreciate how it gets used to keep players from rushing into lava. The fire totems, particularly the sudden tall boys, were hilarious. The flashbang chanky were fun little toys that enhanced the level design, and the hotheads, while less memorable, made excellent bombardment threats while trying to work through the level. Sadly, the gimmick usage has a lot of flaws. The sheep block section is alright in concept, but in practice, it's utter suffering if you can't read the room fast enough, never mind color blindness issues. The lack of checkpoint also doesn't help. Any death between the sheep blocks and the boss forces you to redo the whole thing. And even considering I could read the sheep blocks fast enough to ace that section, redoing it all is really not fun. The huge firewalls have better overall design than the sheep blocks, but they're also royally laggy when they drown the entire room, which doesn't reflect well. Yeah, I saw that just before the boss room. Most importantly, while I generally like the flashback, combined with the level's heavy animation, they're an assault on the eyes. Even with dev team modification to the visual, it's still a health risk. And while it's true that even professionals can struggle with this, proper playtesting should have been enough to catch and fix things. I count myself thankful that I was able to play it without issues, but the literal painful visuals were a ding on fun aesthetics and functionality. For that matter, while the level was fun enough besides the last segment, I did not enjoy the boss at all. Mr. Bright is entirely too long to fight for his own good, I agree. And Terry Crew's double sun power was similarly hard on the eyes. Overall, there is potential here, and I ultimately enjoyed most of what this presented. I'm also certain that I'm an outlier here, as there's a lot to this level that can render unplayable for folks, and I scored accordingly. Don't be surprised if the other judges have harsher reviews than I do, and there is no way this isn't getting a skip. As far as fire team levels go, this is certainly one of the more memorable ones I've come across. But not exactly for the right reasons, unfortunately. Let's get the biggest and most glaring issue out of the way first. The stage hurts to look at, and it's mostly due to the main gimmick. Putting the player in a situation where they can't see anything for a few seconds is one thing, but considering how dangerous the rest of the level is, given that you're almost always surrounded by other hazards, some of which are instant death, it basically forces you to sit there and wait out the effect. Granted, you could try to ignore the tackle fire that causes it, but that only really works up until the second half of the stage. It's kind of a shame, since the first half actually did have some well-structured challenges. Screen flashing aside, it was at least shaping up to be a decent level. And then the sheepman block appeared. Specifically the ones in the long vertical segment. This is easily the most frustrating part of the stage, since now you have little to no control over when the flashing effect goes up. Sure, you can try to get rid of the napalm fires with the water shield, but hitting them from almost a full screen's length away is more trial and error than anything. There's also no checkpoint in the last half until you reach the boss, meaning if you die you need to repeat the vertical section all over again. Oh god, I'm so glad I didn't die then. This gets tedious very quickly. It also highlights another major issue with this stage, is that nearly every major challenges involve waiting for something. Personally, I'd be fine with this if it were just one thing that didn't last so long, but this stage definitely goes overboard with it. And lastly, it's ends with a boss that unfortunately shares in that issue of tedium. He spends far too much time either invincible or out of your reach, making Buster-only duos a lot more trouble than they're worth. If it weren't for its huge weakness to... Wow, it's a good thing that Steel isn't here, because he would have said... because it's the weakness, apparently. The fight would be pretty close to unbearable. And the end of it all, I really wish I could like the stage more. It has the potential to be good. And not to mention, it has some really memorable visual effects to it. but in its current play state, it's just a slog to play through. Pachi.
Okay. Do not look into the sun. What happened during the design process for this entry? Starts out like you expect for a fire-themed level, plenty of familiar fiery gimmicks and enemies. Surprisingly, the lava spurts don't actually insta-kill you either. Sounds innocent enough, so what is the problem here? The Chankeys that proceed to flashbang the screen if they get killed by any non-weaponry means. That's right, that includes them colliding with the fire traps. There are several rooms where there is a Chankey spawner surrounded by fire traps, creating this lovely constant orange flashbang effect. If that sounded bad enough, wait till the second half. Oh man, that final section. Why would you do this? Getting constantly flashbanged as soon as you enter the room where the information vital to survivability, that being the clutter of sheepman blocks and spikes, is immediately hidden away and continues to be hidden for as long as the fire traps are active, and can only be gotten rid of with your limited use of Tornado Blow. That is straight up unfair. No checkpoints after the horrendous flashbang rooms either. You have to go through a long stretch of bottomless pits with things constantly trying to knock you off into them, forcing you to redo that long spike full and flashbang screens all over again. A test of patience that I frankly don't possess. And then at the end, you are greeted with Mr. Shine from Kirby here with multiple health bars, airborne and vulnerable during attacks. Truly makes for a disastrous recipe of a horrendous experience, seriously.
No, I did not have the chance to watch a GDQ, I was too busy at work. Normally, contest levels are left exactly as submitted, unless there's a problem that crosses the line between undesirable and actively detrimental to Magmamel's intended player experience. Before the dev team's intervention, this level was slow to load and almost unplayably laggy. Moreover, the gentle fade to orange when Chanky is destroyed was originally a painful flash of white. Ugh. More than anything, this level would have benefited from further editing. Everything is already in place to make this a wild success. Superb atmosphere, deliberate challenge arcs, a focused assortment of creatively combined enemies and gimmicks. But practically every good thing keeps going and doesn't quite know when to stop. Overall level length. Distance between checkpoints relative to likelihood of instant death, number of critical objects, ladder, Chanky spawners, hidden in the corner of the screen where they're not readily visible, time spent waiting for blocks to disappear underfoot, and number of consecutive screens where that matters. Time spent waiting for a chance to hit the boss with the Buster, and amount of health the boss has, again and again. The issue is too much. That's a big complaint, but it's really my only one. I appreciate how well every concept is introduced and then repeatedly tested. Surviving to the end truly requires a mastery of the challenges, or abusing weapon like I did. I love the versatility of the undulating lava, the refreshing original uses of Plantman's platform, the tricky, albeit not quite colorblind friendly, sheepman block setups, and even the strategy altering shanking explosions. Tokens are satisfying to collect. Yes, the level goes overboard in many regards. Even the animation heavy graphics are right on the edge, but I think they make the level pop. With some practice and a healthy amount of special weapon use, this is a level I can enjoy despite the stress and exasperation. Hey Spark, so this stage is lucky to not be disqualified. It was a close call. So much visual eye strain, but I was able to eventually review the stage, even if it did take me out for the day, so here goes. A perfect example... Yeah, I guess Hey Spark was the one that had the issue. A perfect example of a stage where the individual elements, barring the boss, are actually pretty fun. but the whole is much less than its parts. Some very minor and easily implemented changes would have smoothed over the level's annoyance, because any given segment is well designed and fairly original. The final run through with the closing floors and ceiling of fire is thrilling, and gosh dang, the sheep blocks got some really cool segments. The tile set is nicely done, the stage really lives up to its theme, and the boss has some cool patterns. But it all falls apart with those annoyances. Frankly, the boss is no hot stuff, but a rather damn flop of a fight. Oh man, this is an awful final taste in the mouth as you exit the stage. They may have some interesting patterns, but there was no reason at all to make them both have 2 L bars and make the boss invulnerable during basically any attack or action, barring the use of Laser Trident, which does a whopping 1 damage, yay! With the player waiting 4 aeons between time when they can get a shot, even weakness usage takes forever. And even with the attack where, sure, he's technically vulnerable, he's out of reach. It's a slow tedious grind, and weapons don't really help make it feel any less of a slog. But I dare say, I think our sun will have collapsed and all life in the solar system will end before you finish the fight if you go in Buster only. And then there's a checkpoint placement. From a screen lens stance, they're in perfectly reasonable location. But there needed to be a few more because the stage is just very slow going. Sheepman blocks. And because the stage is so slow going, it results in much iteration time between failures and a whole lot of waiting. So much waiting. Waiting for fireways to pass. Waiting for an enemy to either get out of the way so it does, in order to position to shoot it so it doesn't blind you. Waiting for sheep blocks to despawn. What were fairly interesting sheep block puzzle segment quickly led to boredom on even your third pass through. You know that entire tiny segment with sheep blocks after the second checkpoint that takes just under a minute? That's almost half the amount of time one of the early NES stages takes to complete. And then you have the entire climax of the stage following it. A rather hard and intense climax to the stage, and it wants to be fun. Mechanically it should be, I should be having a blast here. Alas, while this stage may not rely on instant death, it's just enough to make single slip-ups feel extra punishing.
Don't really see that.
Yeah. Good checkpoint placement relies on time spent in an area, not screen length. And then, let's get to the graphics. As said earlier, this level is ice training. There's so much visually going on, with the new chunky enemy blinding the screen. In small doses, it's not too bad. It doesn't really bother you, but sometimes I had to play the stage in spurts. A full run of the stage, I guess, you might want to say, my eyes hurt. The further I get into the stage, the more I can feel a headache forming. So it was a close call whether or not I could review the stage, but I did, and went to lie down in a dark room immediately afterwards. From what I've heard, the dev team have already toned down the stage's graphics, but I don't think much can be done to do so much further. The stage relies on the blinding gimmick too much, and any more graphical changes would be too extensive. In the end, while having a nice aesthetic in theory, it hurts the stage too much to justify giving it a high score. So yes, the stage is getting a review rather than being disqualified. At the end of the day, I could play it. Barely! I will be advocating for a skip on those grounds alone. Understandably so.
Yeah, that was bold.
Those flashbangs were horrible. And having to have so much instant death next to him? God, why?
Yeah.
Torchman! As the fire safety manager around these parts, I must ensure the forest is protected from fire hazard. Why isn't the fire spreading? It's all thanks to the control of the rigors of Torch just gives me.
Okay.
Okay. Next stage is Poudrin?
Poudrin, it looks like Poudrin.
Man, there we go. With a score of 52.80. 1 element, 2 tokens. And we got Blizzard Buffalo music. And the reason why I'm jumping is that the floor is slippery, so...
Oh god, ice level.
This lets me reposition easier.
You like water levels or sewer levels? You either love or hate ice levels. Yeah, you're Wheatley. Piss off.
At least the crystals are much less random than in actual Mega Man 5.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot of Susies.
Oh, is that what they're called? Susies?
Or Octo Batteries, but I think their canon name is Susie.
Oh, I just see him as Wheatley from Portal 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah, your vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a curling thing.
Oh my god, that's a curling thingy.
A curling puck.
I really should know, because I should know. It's on top of my head. I know what those are called. Stones. They're curling stones. Man.
Okay, this one's harder to get to. Maybe there's better prizes.
Yep, they're stones.
I don't know about this Blizzard Buffalo remix though. So I'm starting to wonder where those tokens are, because so far, I got none of them.
Checkpoint?
Weirdly enough, I feel like this is like an optional checkpoint.
Oh,
like
still
you could
checkpoint.
just bypass it. Oh.
You were saying?
Okay. Let's start with this way then. Oh my.
There's one. Uh-oh. Oh.
Jeez.
Nope. Kind of a good thing you got that checkpoint.
Indeed.
Oh, see, oh, that green thing had a token symbol on it.
Yeah, both paths have to have a token.
Hmm.
Oh god. Doodaloo.
Okay.
Excuse me? Game? Mind explaining this? Game? Game? What was that?
Okay, please. Go back to your fucking house and think about what you've done.
Good question. You find out, you let me know.
Okay, yeah, I was saying that, yeah. There you go.
The thing that's silly though is that if I want the other token, I think I have to either double back or die. Can I even double back? Let us find out.
It's save your token so you can probably, yeah.
I cannot
No,
double
you gotta
back.
die. You think you, well, they did say it did save, so
Geronimo!
what the F was that? Hold.
Oh god!
Oh, squid.
I see this crystal now.
Oh, hey, it's that sand thing again.
Well, you're Crystal Joes.
Chris,
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
I distracted you with your Mega Man knowledge. Mwahaha.
I wonder actually if one of the judge will mention that it's a bit silly to ask the player to die to get the second token. Hey, poo-poo.
Bonjour, poo poo. I can only say bonjour, poo poo, because I don't know any other words in French.
Oh,
Oh, what?
interesting. Oh, okay. This is fine. Things that make you go, So if I were, if I continued from the upper path, I would have gone up there, I think.
But yeah, you couldn't be able to get the token anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it would have let me go back, so...
Nope. Death was the only option,
Okay.
unfortunately.
That's a bit silly.
I mean, this level
Who
was
is the
actually...
boss? Fridge Man? You're not a regular robot master, I can tell you that much.
I thought that was Steel.
Okay, he has no weakness. Amazing.
Okay, that's garbage. Garbage, garbage, I'm the garbage man. Stuck in the wall.
Yeah, I think I used all the weapons on him.
One.
He does way too much goddamn contact damage, I can tell you that much.
You get 5. What the fuck? Strange man, stop getting stuck in the wall.
So yeah, no weakness. Buster only it is.
I'm surprised that the guy didn't add a Mr. Freeze quote.
Ugh. I hope if he's in the arena, they'll actually have added him a weakness, because this is silly.
95th place. I can read the 2 of them if you want. Give your voice a break.
Yeah, can you do... Let's see, the first one and the third one, Mick and Patchy.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Alright. As an ice level, this is a start. It's got an appropriate selection of gimmicks. Ice levels should have ice. Chill blocks are good for platforming, and the crystal droppers mesh well with both. The GB icicles were a welcome surprise, and their introduction with Curlinger was clever. As for the enemies, Curlinger has the odd flash of brilliance, like dunking 2 of them in a pit or dropping one on your head with a few seconds warning. Kanona Chinu is a little more threatening than usual. Crystal Joe fits well with the crystals, and Susie is a decent option to break up everything else. It's not innovative in any real sense, but it's appropriate. In general, this level can be summed up as not innovative but appropriate. The level design is functional, keeping something of a variety going, but it's largely uneventful. The aesthetics are a huge part of that. A mostly purple cave isn't the most interesting visual, and this Blizzard Buffalo remix is a bit too relaxing. I also found the difficulty curve a little bit lacking.
Honestly, the Blizzard Buffalo remix just sounded off to me, but anyways.
There is an increase through the level, but I can't say that it ever hits a serious peak. All that being said, there was one challenge for an E-tank that was unexpectedly clever. Realizing I had to jump back from the E-tank on a bunch of already cracked blocks got a smile out of me. The biggest design issues are Pauldron Man and the split path. The former is an okay boss fight, but he doesn't have a weakness, and that's really jarring.
Agreed.
The split path is a neat concept, but in practice I found the bottom path was poorly implemented, and I didn't like needing to die just to get every token in one sitting.
Agreed also.
Combine that with some glitches, a broken wall, and some missing ice visuals, and this doesn't pan out the best. It's a nice land for sure, but it plays decently enough, but overall, it's only a start.
Jinryu. I wasn't really sure what I was getting into when I first saw this level's name. For one, I didn't even know what poudrin meant until afterwards. Turns out it's a French word for snow and ice crystal. You mean poudrerie? Well, anyways, with that in mind, I'd say the theming is pretty on point here. As for the level itself, it was alright, I suppose. The platforming here is relatively standard fare. Aside for 2 particular things, there wasn't much in here that made me think this is bad. At the same time, however, there were very few moments where I was actually invested in the stage, Some of this setup demand careful timing on the player's behalf, such as the ice block plus crystal generator segment, along with the final stage before the boss. But for the most part, a lot of the room layouts don't really require a whole lot of thought to get through. They're not necessarily badly designed section per se, just rather bland. What I do find bad, however, are the split paths. My problem with them isn't so much the design, but rather it's the fact that both of the paths contain tokens. That means if you want to get everything in one playthrough, you need to collect the token on one route, intentionally die on retry, or retry, then go for the other one. While perhaps not that big of a deal in the long run, it did make me wish both of these paths had been restructured into one linear route. That aside, a poo-poo appeared. The only other issue I had with this level was near the beginning, where I managed to slide through one of the wall tiles and fell to my death. Really? Shit. As far as the end boss, well, I'm glad that Powderin' Man actually shows up. This fight is a bit lackluster. His attack patterns are very basic and easy to avoid, with the slight exception of that icicle shockwave, depending on how close he is when he uses it, at least. Aside from that one attack, there's only two other notable things about him. The first is that he doesn't seem to have a weakness, and second being his somewhat high contact damage. Agreed. These are the only reason Powderin' Man has the potential to be difficult, as opposed to almost anything he actually does in a fight. So with that in mind, I can't really say I was a fan of this battle, or most of its stage, unfortunately. Alright, Pachi. Oh boy, she has her eyes closed.
Oh no. Oh, I guess she was trying to pronounce the Pudren word. Noun, Soul Crystals of Ice. Palette is quite monotone, and combined with the music being a rather dull loop, makes this stage overall not really that pleasant to play through. Even outside of the aesthetics, the stage is pretty average as far as ice-themed stages go. Standard icy physics shenanigans. Chill blocks used in ways you expect. I guess there's some ice. There's some crystal droppers, I guess. Not really any huge problem spots, but there aren't any really any remarkable spots either. Just an overall average stage. Boss is a little similar to the Chill Man fight in the sense that you want to keep away from his high contact damage while dodging with the slippery floor. At least he doesn't freeze you in place. He also boasts his desperation attack in the form of an ice wave attack. I like that you can dodge according to the animation he determines what shape the shots are going to split into. That's it?
Yeah, that's it. This unassuming level doesn't leave me a strong impression on me. I think it's a combination of graphics, which looks nice but could use more color and texture contrast, challenge progression, slow start, then a little jumbled in difficulty, and challenge composition, perfectly acceptable, but not remarkably different from Crystal Man and Chill Man. A somber music, subdued color scheme, and patience-oriented gimmicks, and enemies collectively encourage the player to take it slow. This is the ideal way to play, as the challenges seem to be built with an observe then act mentality, which I very much appreciate. I especially like the two chill blocks with Susie's patrolling overhead, the E-Tank puzzle, the token hidden in the dirt, and the sneaky icicle right before the boss door. However, impatience is also viable, and it kinda wrecks the level. Bypassing one challenge with Rush Coil allows the player to completely miss a checkpoint, for example. Yeah, I didn't note that checkpoint felt almost optional. Yeah, which also ties on some oddity with the architecture and level layout. For instance, there's a lot of wasted space in the opening stretch, ending with a brief split path that allows you to avoid a non-threatening curlinger. Nothing about the design is ever terrible, but it doesn't always seem like all the components are necessary. or like the split paths go, where one would expect them to go. The boss fight is pretty solid. Pudding Man may not have an especially distinctive visual design, but his attack pattern is the right balance of tricky and learnable. I only wish his desperation attack would kicking at half or quarter health, rather than maybe one hit before death, if it feels like it. A noteworthy special weapon vulnerability would also be nice. If nothing else, I learned that Pudrin means small crystal of ice. Yay, entertainment! Edutainment!
Yeah, edutainment.
Okay, Spark, you can tell that this level had quite a bit of thought put into the design of the challenges and difficulty that the player is expected to face. The level has a pretty spot-on difficulty curve too. The intro is a bit slow. The Chillman blocks were the highlights of the stage, with a variety of platforming challenges and enemies that complemented the setups. The room with the red token was particularly good, however, there are a few issues that heavily let it down. For all the care put into the gimmick placement, the level architecture has some very rough spots. The direction to go in some rooms was quite unclear. It could lead to you dying in a dead end and often will lead to skipping a checkpoint entirely, something we did. In the room where the two paths combine, there is no indication that there is no transition to the left, and attempting that leads to certain death. What? This leads nicely onto the second issue. Checkpoint placements are bizarre. One of the checkpoints can be activated before progressing through the room's puzzle. The next one can be easily skipped, and there isn't another one until the boss. This makes the latter half of the stage very punishing, as by definition your gimmicks involve a lot of instant death. Pudding Man ends the stage on the low note. The boss fight has a high damage output, along with a physics-based attack pattern that's hard to grasp on your first few attempts. The flush-shaped icicle spread was very hard to dodge constantly. The ice wave has no tells, and depending on positioning, he is almost impossible to avoid because of the speed he approaches you. It's also so rare that you never expect it. Well, I got it a few times. And this level was a bit meh. I don't know what to think about that Blizzard Buffalo remix, honestly.
But apparently it's better than the fire level, so and it was.
I mean, at least it doesn't destroy your eyes, I guess. Yeah, got
it doesn't
that
destroy
over
your,
that.
It doesn't destroy your eyes, and you
Boring. Never catered for places like this, to be honest. Home is a world of concrete and gasoline. Blobbing me in the pine forest like mixing oil and water. Second thought, maybe this is a way to reach new height. Yeah, I can see it now. Presto, the first bot in the world to run on oil and water at the same time.
That's a bad idea, Presto. Don't do it.
Crystal Tower by Gelasta with a score of 53 on the dot. With a name like Crystal Tower, I'm thinking Final Fantasy III, but it might not be. 1 element, 3 tokens. Well, let's see.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, we're starting with this. This level features an animation gimmick where the entire stage animates at once. This includes the enemies and item drops. Some judges experience high strain and determine the change should be made. We tried to slow down the animation, but it didn't look right, so we added an option to disable the effect altogether. Shoot the switch on the left to toggle the effect on and off.
Yeah, we might as well. I'm not getting sick today. No, thank you. How do we know if it's off?
Oh, is that the effect that it has? Okay, well, let's see what it's like.
Yes, poo-poo.
Ah, I see now.
Oh, nope, 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 nope,
Yeah, I
nope.
think I'll disable that, thank you. Oh.
What?
My right key is disabled, what?
Okay, I heard a noise when you were going off the ladder. You hear
Okay,
that?
we gotta find a way to re-enable that then. Oh.
No, Poo Poo, not that.
Okay.
Please stay on the line, folks. We're experiencing technical poo-poo difficulties.
I saw that key. And now it's left that's not open.
Okay. Well, okay. See, the problem is when it's all purple, you can't really tell what you need to get it disabled. And that can be very bad for your level if everything's one color.
And this is so weird. This, however, is kind of shit.
It's shit. Oh, come on. This is shit.
Poo-poo. Oj, det är cute, Lummy. Come on. I picked up something. What the something is, no clue. Okay, I see the two remaining tokens there. So, God, everything would just be flashing this color the whole time? Ugh.
Yes.
I can totally respect having the option to toggle that off. Honestly, not even because it's necessarily eyes draining, but just annoying. It's so distracting.
Yeah, it's just not nice. It's just not appealing.
Oh, I broke his shield. Alright, there was some healing here.
Yeah, you just killed him and now he comes back. It's like, what's up? Oh, you missed a token somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the room above. I just need to find a way to get there, essentially.
Okay.
Okay, easy does it. Okay.
Okay. One of them. Space, that's a big no-no.
What's over here? Hi.
Oh, it moves!
I am me. You sure
Thanks.
are.
You sure are, you're creepy as fuck.
Oh. Oh, I did not realize this was solid.
You can't go back.
Yeah, gotta deal with this shit again. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. How am I supposed to break that block now?
Oh, you don't. That was dumb.
Fucking hell! Ugh.
Oh, that
Not a fan of
first
this
key.
gimmick, honestly.
Be thankful we turned off the flashing, because it would have been a hell of a lot worse. I could just imagine this game would be on, this level would be on play.
Oh.
Okay. Gee, thanks for the keys. Have you been here already? Yeah.
I haven't been to the right here.
Oh, okay.
That does mean I have to back through there. Go. That.
Okay. I don't mean shit. Or maybe it does, wait. Who are you? Oh great, now you gotta do all this again. Shoot the box open.
I got what working?
No. Oh, fuck off. Hi, Steel. Welcome to hell. Oh, and yes, Steel, you missed some shit too. Yes! Yes!
Oh boy.
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
He got the deaf mod sound to work.
Alright, time to drink has reached the judge commentary for, I believe, the last level of tier 7.
I'll do it, I'll start first. Oh, he
And
looks pissed.
Mick did not enjoy this, which I can understand, especially if the gimmick was on.
Yeah. This level did not sit well with me. While Crystal Tower is very linear in reality, it absolutely messed with my head for the first couple of runs, and not in the way I enjoy. This is thanks to two particular details, the main gimmick and the aesthetic, neither of which work to the level's benefit. The wall walk isn't a bad concept, it's quick enough to figure out, it's telegraphed, and the puzzles are generally alright. However, it also comes with a lot of roundabout backtracking and dead-end paths, which make it hard to tell where I was going. The dead ends might have been intended as previews of future segments, but there's enough in the levels here and now that the highlights don't really work. This is compounded with the visual aesthetic. Not only is the monochromacy dull, but the complete lack of visual variety demolished nearly all sense of visual progression for me. Combined with a low variety of enemies, several of which are shielded, and the whole thing just blended together into a linear maze of nothing. That's not to say there wasn't any attempt though. The crystal mets are kind of interesting, the crystals are a decent deterrent, and the Elite Joes versus the regular Joes are the one case where I can tell I was making significant progress. Unfortunately, the Mets have too much shielding, the Joes tend to desync with each other, and there's really not much variety in how they were used. The poor variety is also a hit to the difficulty curve, magnifying the issues with progression, and just making the whole thing a slog to play. The boss was at least entertaining, even if it was visually dull, but the rest was just kind of blah, so so I ultimately didn't enjoy this.
Yeah. This was a rather polarizing level for me, to put in one way. Nor in that more exemplified than the aesthetics. I'm admittedly not really a fan of color shifting tiles due to how rough they can be on the eye, unless they have smooth transitions. These ones definitely didn't change my overall opinion about them, but I didn't find myself outright hating them either. Alright. I think that soft color palette is what makes it a lot easier to take in here, so I'm at least grateful for that. Aesthetic aside, this level itself plays out somewhat decently, but certainly not without its fault. The core mechanic of being locked into facing one direction is rather unique, and it's integrated well with what would be otherwise normal platforming sections. There's nothing in here that's particularly challenging, but I wouldn't say that's a major issue on its own. I do think it contributes to a bigger problem though. After the few time I experienced the gimmick, there wasn't much left that held my interest. This isn't to say that the stage structures and room layout are bad, rather it's all just kinda boring. The custom enemies help spice things up a bit, but seeing the same 3 over and over again, and the fact they all use the same sound effect, the laser trident shoot noise, quickly drained their novelty. Speaking of the enemies, I noticed the Joe-esque knights sometimes face the wrong direction. This might be because of the gimmick interfering with how they face the player. It's still an issue that can make them a complete non-threat. More so than annoying though, I mainly pinned the level shortcoming on the gimmicks not being used to its fullest potential, since most of the room involving it just have you going from one end to the other in basic configuration. There is one exception to this where you're required to use a conveyor belt to adjust your direction, which I really wish the stage would have played around with more. Last but not least, there's the end boss. While it's just as easy as the rest of the stage, I still found it to be a decently engaging fight, and I actually really like how it incorporates enemy attacks from the stage into its arsenal, as well as actually summoning an enemy without it completely derailing the fight. And with how easy that sort of thing is to mess up, I have to give major kudos for this alone. If the rest of the level was up to par with this boss, I could see this being a potential favorite of mine. Unfortunately, it just turned out to be a bit disappointing instead. Bachi.
Fire love the shiny, not so shiny. Interesting aesthetics for sure, an interesting sound design choice of making literally everything play the laser trident sound effect. That doesn't get repetitive at all, no siree. The force to face one direction gimmick is unique, I guess, but I don't think it was quite utilized as much as it is needed. It's been used for one purpose alone throughout, and it's to make the player take a longer way around an alcove so they can turn to shoot the blocks in the way. The only clever moment is when you can use the conveyor belt to pick a direction you want to as you pass the line toggle. Overall, more of an annoyance than anything. The stage is overall on the easy side, and it gets a little bit mundane at times, especially when over 2/3 of the enemy roster is shielded, which doesn't help with the pacing of the level. The only real threat that the level provides is its mazy nature. With everything being one palette, it kind of makes it hard to navigate the place without any distinct identity for each room. Luckily, the stage overall is fairly compact. Load time is a bit on the long side as well. Would have gotten annoying to deal with that had the stage had been on the harder side for sure. It has a custom boss that is somewhat unique with its design and gimmick, so that's something.
Between the music and clean monochromatic visual, this feels something like a Game Boy game. and I'm okay with that, though I'm not sure how a certain element, ergo the hidden NPC, fit the crystal theme. And call me old-fashioned, but I believe a tower should be taller than it is wide. Two brain-bending gimmicks are competing for supremacy here. I want to explore the unique movement gimmick through a series of carefully curated puzzles, but the maze aspect keeps pulling focus. By the end, I feel less like I've mastered a new gimmick and more like I bumbled through enough loosely related challenges to get me to the exit. Miscellaneous technical issues scratch the polish. Most notably, the otherwise decent boss needs a damage flashing animation and a less comically catastrophic reaction to the player initiating the fight with the tornado blow. Damn, I should have tried that. Sometimes I forgot whether the gimmick is active, which is a function of how similar the on and off switches look, and also a sign the challenges are underdeveloped. Poo-poo. When the genuinely clever conveyor puzzles show up, it's a shock. Suddenly, the time-tested tactic of walking to the end of the room and back, optionally breaking sequence with special weapon, doesn't work. There's so much potential for wacky platforming and tricky mini-boss fights, especially with all the interesting new enemies, but fully half the level is devoted to plain challenges we've seen countless times before, and we'll see them again repeatedly because path branch, overlap, and loop back in seemingly arbitrary ways. At least the level is relatively forgiving, save for an absence of weapon refills. I expect players will run out of patience before they run out of health. I think this would have been more successful as a totally linear level. I see little moments of cleverness, ergo hopping backwards over a Joe, that could grow into something greater. And a spark. This level started off with a bit screwy, and I'm disappointed it didn't really live up to that initial what the hell factor it had going for it. The lock direction gimmick is hard to decipher on first passes. On my initial encounter, I thought it was bug. More work on the visual of the gimmick would have helped, but honestly, the area is kinda neat. There's a few segments that come across strange and novel, but I think I was expecting more puzzles. As it stands, the gimmick is barely a blip on the radar, and the back and forth nature of certain rooms feel more like busy work than the player figuring things out. I like the new versions of Sniper Joe and Medtool. They don't really carry the stage, but they are functionally more novel than their stock counterpart. The Crystal Met requires a very different strategy to deal with, and being able to blast off the Joe's shield with a charge shot makes them much less annoying to deal with. Oh, so only a charge shot would have worked. When the gimmick gets combined with the Joe's is usually when the level clicks. The layout is all over the place, which doesn't help matters. Levels that are ultimately this linear should not be this confusing to navigate. I think my issues were down to just how samey the whole thing looks. Because one part I detested about this stage is the aesthetic. It got very monotonous very quickly, not helped by unsuitable music and everything being the same color. And it flashes in different palette. The constantly rotating palette got very weary on the eyes. Not enough to become utterly unplayable, but the sheer contrast in the color just... ugh. We'll see what the others think. One highlight is the boss. Sure, it's simple, but it works. It's got a few neat attacks and was fun to fight and even refight. Just a nice end to the stage. Yeah, this... honestly, if it had a little bit better aesthetic, the stage would be potable. The boss is actually alright, which is a plus. Natural getaway is great for the circuit, they said. Yeah, right. These cabins don't even have Wi-Fi. How am I supposed to survive out here? Oh boy. Okay, time for the boss. My Lollipop 1136 and Unicola. Let's see what's waiting for us. Hold on, why is the rank just sitting here? Where's the tier boss? There's a note stuck to the rank. Whoever comes across this letter, due to undecided circumstance, I have been forced to relinquish my role as tier boss. Feel free to take this tier rank with no strings attached. There's also no need to inform our benevolent genius host Ernest Will on these circumstances. I wish you the best in achieving a legitimate victory in this tournament. Sincerely, Tier 7 Boss. Something seems off about this letter. I can't afford to fall behind the other contestant this far in. The sooner this is all over with, the better. Let's grab this ring and mark another tier of the list. Alright, tier boss time. There it is. I'm just one of the contestants. Sure looked like a tier boss to me. Did you just walk in with a note saying you could take the rank without a fight? Well, actually, all the way from Zoinkaila to this planet. Santa, man. I shoot laser shooting lion man. Control C, Control V. Almost halfway there. Exclusive interview with not just one but several of the tournament's top contestants. Around a dozen. Echo Unit W3 Element Man. What are your thoughts? Intriguing. Absolutely. Could you speak up a bit? I didn't quite that. I'm sure, you know what? Never mind. The enigmatic Cerberus man. For honor. So vindictive. High base. Oh man. Eight more ranks to go. Actually, I think the bus stop is right here. Okay, that's everything for tier 7. Yeah, I just want to see how many tokens I've got on hand now. Because I am gonna be saving for the key, I believe. I need 69 tokens. Fucking hell. Okay, so once I reach 290 overall tokens, I will have enough. Yeah, this might take 2 or 3 more tiers for that. Alright, as fun as Dr. Light is, let's check out other costumes. I forget if we unlocked one. And that's a break. Be right back. Okay. Well, the bird is sleeping now. Sure, we'll be Sunstar for a bit. Oh, there's the costume lord. Should you defeat the past victor deep inside the limestone pagoda? Wait, what? Hi, Dragon. Still locked. Jeez. I like that most of my deaths were from pits or spikes. Gee, I wonder why Laser Trident's my favorite weapon. Oh, hey. Artifacts. Parallel weapons. Good to know this is here. I'll have to check back once get to later on. You know what? I kind of want to have a Metroid right now. Why not? It's like we have the baby. Huh. You'll be at least the third to know. I guess because you and Dr. Light would be the first. Oh. Huh. Like the double gear. We don't have enough yet. Okay, yeah, I think this one's the Jewelman Jewel from Tier 6. Isn't the question mark in Tier 2? Why not? Let's go check it out, maybe. Right, that was a scrapyard. No, that's Tier 1. Apparently, I looked it up. I need an upgrade I don't have yet. Which is probably what the 100 bolts thing is gonna give out. Hey. I still don't get what's the deal with Element, man. Okay, this might actually be what I need to do. Oh, hey. Great white sage taco trash. Yeah, T-Rex. That was in Magma Level 2. I wonder if they brought it back for this one, actually. Launchman and Shoal, man. Energy elements. Doctors Light and Wily got involved. Hunter Woman. Oh yeah, I mean, Mega Man 4. Cart, man. Huh. The arena set, yep. How many of these stories does he have? Idol woman. Electric transmission. Yeah, Forge woman. Yep. That's so-called Ernest Will. Yep, Mr. X. No one will ever know. Wargates. Maker Man. Oh, right. Costume shop owner. Ghost woman. Goriko. AC chips. Mega Man 5 Game Boy. Real man. Ah, fudge. I have a mod in chat. Abandoned military base with robots trapped inside. I think he's streaming, so yeah. Oh my god, Battle and Chase reference. It's real. All the stakes on the CPU scrambles his voice circuit and renders him all but unintelligible to most people. dangerous, man. Chance, man. Ow. So, okay, we just have to complete more tiers, I guess, to hear more of this. Okay, well, that was the thing. Let's go to tier 8 costumes. Oh, wait. Before I do that, there was a mention of something here. Oh, hey, Arthur. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll fight Mercury. And yes, you can put every single boss at once in there. You will regret it. Those cotton treasures. You mean these capsules? Alright. Actually I need 69 tokens, so by the time I get close to the end of tier 9, I'll have enough tokens to actually get that 100 token reward. Let's start tier 8. Oh my goodness, okay. Hi, Mercury. Can be anything I want. Oh boy, okay. Mailman steals other people's conveyor by box boss. Number 93. And would have been 59.15 if not for a time penalty. Oh, I see an 84 on this level. 1 element, 4 tokens. Oh, let's have a look. So what is this way to make Pumpman die more? Oh boy. Damn it. Well, that's forced utilities if I've ever seen it. I didn't even notice the fucking spikes on the left there. Oops. Okay. Okay. Oh. Kind of nice that they actually have a little warning thing for things dropping on your face. God damn it. I know what I was supposed to do there, but I couldn't do it proper. Oh boy, twice in a row, huh? That doesn't work. I'm not really a fan of these drops, I'm not gonna lie. Are you seriously asking me to die to get this? Actually, no. I can probably use Ice Wall. There we go. Uh-oh. Okay. Every time. Oh my god, it's a raid. Thank you, Opie, for the raid. Of course. I forgot. How could I forget? And a lot of deaf kid boys actually have a weakness to that. Well, time to get my ass kicked by Judge Commentary, man. Let's do it. Given the name, I was hoping for way more conveyor belt types than just Solarmans. I'm rather disappointed in how little this leverage its own name. At any rate, this is pretty upfront with its concept. The result is, well, slightly different from the average Metalman level. It's a lot of conveyor and typical enemies, avoiding most factory-inspired enemies you'd actually see in this stage, but broken up with things like mercury blocks. For the most part, this isn't terrible. Props for the exclamation mark warning. Preparing us for the falling blocks, and the platforming is overall solid. Granted, the difficulty curve isn't perfect. The ladder section is much easier than the mercury blocks, and if you screw up and die getting the fourth token, you basically have to redo half of the level. Still, what's there isn't bad. Unfortunately, it's also not enough. While the level is well made, it's also isn't memorable. Most of that is a concept. It's a conveyor belt factory with Susie's, Joe's, and falling blocks. Not exactly what I call distinct. Chainsaw sticks out to me, if only because I like Mega Man 5 Game Boy's unusual enemies. But for all of Chainsaw's potential, it only appears twice and barely does anything. Heck, most of the enemies don't do much, even considering how typical they are. Even when they're totally absent, I don't really notice they're gone. The short lane of the level doesn't help things either. meaning the place ends before it can do enough with the item it uses. I can appreciate what's been done here, but it's both not long enough and not terribly interesting, so I ultimately didn't enjoy it. Shinryu. I can't help but wonder if this stage went unfinished, since that's the general feeling I'm getting from it. From what little is here, though, I do see at least some form of potential in it. The platform challenges, if they were given a better difficulty curve and fleshed out to a more decent length stage, could make for a rather fun level. I like the setups with the chainsaw in the first half. They require some precision on the player's part, but not the point of being overly punishing either. It's just a shame that both them and the Susies disappear completely for the second half of the stage, which instead focuses more on tight jump across conveyors. That's not to say this is a bad thing on its own, but considering just how short the stage is, sheer disconnect of the design between the two sections sticks out a lot more. There's not much else here, and that's really worth bringing up. Again, it all comes back to the fact that this stage is way too short. It ultimately makes it a really forgettable experience, one that could have been a lot better if given more space to combine and flesh out the enemy setups and platforming challenges found in both segments. Hydro check. Master Thief of Factory Line Components! It's a short level, but I don't mind it. I like the interaction between the disc enemy and the conveyor belt, making this neat dynamic with the disc it leaves behind that you need to time it to jump over it. I like the gravity blocks too, where you can stand on them as they fall to jump up to gather the tokens over the pits. This meanwhile also teaches you that you can use the same trick with the ice wall. Quite a clever subtle in there, which thankfully I did figure out at the end there. The only problem is that there is one part with several of those block dispensers in a row where you have to slide through at the right moment. It can set you back quite a bit if you mistype one of them, but the stage is short as this, so it's forgivable. Somehow the Mailman background works really well with the Solarman tileset. Not sure if Uranus' stage theme really fits too well with the setting. Yeah, that was strange. The level ends with a box standard Mailman fight. Nothing else to comment about it really. It's a decent way to wrap up the non-existent saga of Mailman's crime. This is a by-the-book, good level. A handful of gimmick and enemies introduced in a clear fashion, gradually combine in progressively more dangerous ways. Two distinct segments in a boss fight, separated by well-timed checkpoints. Fair challenges that push players to demonstrate what they've learned so far. Truly stable construction, clean, polished graphics that add interest without distracting from the gameplay. I was kind of hoping for a simpler platter of different conveyor style. I think the level is better for staying focused. We've seen most of these objects sparing before, and I waded through enough Susies blocking alleyways to last a lifetime, but the level never feels derivative. I appreciate the various architecture and effective use of spikes and sliding passages. I applaud the judicious and meaningful use of Joes. Secret room is ruthlessly sneaky. I'd even encourage a bigger reward for finding it. Yeah, only a W tank was kinda meh, but anyways. I questioned the choice of mini-boss, and I would have liked more color contrast with the spike, or a different style of spike altogether. Otherwise, everything looks and feels perfect for the level. Mailman and Solarman style sets work surprisingly well together, and the exclamation points were a creative warning sign for the falling canister. The good placement is devious and fun. However, I would have preferred keys where the tokens are, and tokens behind nearby locked doors, thus requiring the player to survive the token challenges. Drillman switches would have worked for this purpose too. My biggest lament is the generic mailman fight. Falling canister feel like an obvious twist that's missing. Also, the music doesn't quite feel right for this pace of the battle. I want a little bit more from this level, but I'm happy with what it offers. So yeah, apparently Flashman really liked this one. This Spark. It really feels like I've just played this before, and a better version of it. Indeed, it's as if you took Mercury's stage, added more spikes, supposedly swapped out some of the interesting enemies for the overused and generic, and replaced the Crusher segment and Mercury himself with a mediocre mid-boss and boss. I'd say that Mercury and Metal Man were some of the less memorable stage of their respective games, so while this mashup is thematically appropriate, it's also thematically dull. The sheer number of spikes and pits are the only threat on this stage. Spike that somewhat blend in if you aren't paying attention. Could have used a different color palette. And he's right, I did not notice them at first on one of the going downs there. And frankly, only the sheer generic layout prevents confusion from unmarked pits. I question the use of Susie's here. They don't complement the stage layout and just act as a roadblock. They slow the player down rather than a genuine threat. The Chainsaw and Sniper Joe end up as slow time wasters. Very little requires you to actually dodge or maneuver. The worst part is, the stage repeats its challenges. You had 2 challenges in the entire second of the stage, and the rest feels like you just copy-pasted them. The first time you encounter the slight timing challenges does frustrate. This offers little warning for its coming, but the others are just repeating what you did not 1 second previously. Aesthetically, it looks pleasing enough. Using Metal Man's cog animation combined with the prettier of official conveyor help ensure the stage isn't lifeless and the tiling is all rather solid. The stage seems to get more and more broken and damaged the further you go in. A nice touch. I'm a fan of the trickster tokens here. I don't mind having to rely on weapons for some of these. It offers bits of spice and distraction in an otherwise fairly sub-average, obvious and standard level. Yeah, honestly, at least the level was short. Those sliding segments, the ones towards the ladder were okay. I'm not sure if I would have repeated them 3 times in a row though. And I could have done without the ones with the falling blocks, because yeah, I didn't fall, but it could have happened. And there's like only 1 checkpoint in the stage, which, I mean, yeah, it's a short stage, but you know, it is what it is. For some reason I have an inkering for coffee lately, but no one will give me any because I don't have any mouth. Why, I'd throw the cup right back at them for that. Only problem is I don't have any arms or hands. Maybe I can get a lawyer. What? Everyone's been walking up to me saying, "Nice costume, man. That site looks so real." Of course it does. It is a real site. But fool goes to a corpse party without one? What do you mean it said costume party on the brochure? That's just terrific. I was planning on using this on so many here too. Perhaps I can get Wonder Woman to sign it. Oh boy. We actually have a disqualified level. Worthless Man by Geist118, which if it hadn't been disqualified would have had a score of 54.25. 1 element, 5 tokens. So, this level was disqualified. 1 judge was unable to complete it due to a migraine caused by the end boss. Unfortunately, we can't tone out the visual. Doing so would fundamentally alter the boss fight. If epilepsy, migraines, or eye strain are concerns for you, skip this level and go left to collect all the loot. So that warning, I've now unlocked the entrance to my head and my head hurts now. Well, let's see how bad this is gonna be. woke up for the first time today. A man with a balding head said he created me. Said I have more potential than any robots ever created. I asked him why. My designation is worthless man. Said that would change once I found my potential. Another doctor here named Jane Vorlord said I should record my thoughts in a journal. I guess I'll be doing that. Yuzukage, Tater Tot Tunes, and Zune. What are you doing? Your objective is to the right. That is very specifically not where your objective is. You'll die if you keep going this way. There's nothing this way. There's no trickery tokens, bolt, or E-tanks. Go back. Nope, we're going. You think this is a joke? Here's the punchline. The last screen on this walkway is just an empty screen over a death pit. There, I ruined the joke for you. Go back. Oh god, stop. I already ruined the punchline. Go back. Fine then, I have a joke to tell. Why did the cat walk into the world's most obvious and heavily telegraphed death trap? It actually is just a death pit too. They weren't joking. Huh. We're the Sparkman bot.
Oh my goodness!
Thank you for the sub.
Thank you so much for staying in the stable!
How does one even go up there? Ah. Son of a bitch. No. You know, I didn't even notice that part. God, how much HP do this thing have? Hello there, Airman Joe. Now Topman Joe. Apparently my chassis is a repurposed Joe unit. I don't think I'll be finding my true potential with this body. I wanted to try fixing that by studying the Joe units. I don't know if I found any of this my own potential this way, but I did figure out how to make weaker versions of other robot masters. The warlord has started calling them Joe masters. Seems impressed with what I've done. God damn it. Oh. Actually, just to see. That does not break them. Okay, nothing works on these top Joes, I guess you'd call them. Subject made alteration to the design of the previous Robot Master, adding the Joe visor to its design. She named the resulting creation Ani Joan. Yeah, at least there's a checkpoint before and after the boss, the mini boss here. Figured out how to modify my chassis. I used Splash Woman as an inspiration, but I also like Dr. Vorla's poofy blonde hair. She asked me if I still wanted to be known as Worthless Man. I told her that I still didn't know what my potential is. I don't feel like a man. She listed Worthless Woman as an interim name. Yep. Well, at least I got my face. Oh, hi, Bomb Man. Look of Lunar Woman. I built some new solar panels and incorporated them into my chassis. These panels are 400% more effective than other solar panels. In addition, they can also get power from moonlight and starlight. Affected my personality too. I think I'm two people now. At night I'm Lunar Woman. During the day I'm Celestial Woman. Lunar Woman feels like the me that was already there. Celestial Woman is really different though. Like the roller says, she's a very excitable personality. I think I'm scared of her. Too quick. Man, I'm not a fan of those tight jumps. Really not. God duh! Should have just made a bigger fucking platform. Probably shouldn't use magnet beam so much, but it's just so useful. God, the tight jumps. Really not a fan of those. I'm gonna have to use a W tank. Man, that's wit energy saver. Okay, so these are just dead spikes hidden as quick lasers. Even iframes do not protect you from these freaking lasers. This is ridiculous. Finally a checkpoint. Subject made the Snake's Robot Master after watching something that she described as a Chinese cartoon. She had named it, the Jojo Joe. Oh no. I'll have to make a note not to let her watch the Powerpuff Girl? Excuse me? Huh. That's actually one shot. Interesting. I played back some memories that were recorded by my celestial woman personality. Dr. Wily wanted to see my progress, so he took me to a populated city. What happened next? Celestial woman. I had no idea she had that much power. City was there 1 second. The next, it was quartz glass. Dr. Wily looked impressed. Dr. Vorlot looked terrified. I don't think I like what I've become. Are those solids? There are not. I thought I had more range than that. Oh, this sucks. It's an interesting gimmick, but it freaking blows chunks. Yep, gotta use a W tank. If it wasn't for the stupid Tupman Joes. Oh, come on! How could I forget about that gimmick? Ow, my face. Ugh. And the checkpoint. Oh, goodness. You expect your player to get through all of this shit in one go. No, I refuse. You son of... This level's too long. This level is seriously too freaking long. Surprised I got away with that one. You know what? What happens if I have this on nighttime? However, because this is the easier of the two... Oh, well, it forces me to have this on now, so... Fuck off, please! god, I'm gonna have to do a loop, aren't I? Hate this already. I hate that I can't even go through freaking damage boosting. This is very silly. Even the break dash invulnerability does not protect you against these lasers. What even? What even with this? I gotta give it an honest attempt, but honestly, my heart's just not in it anymore. This level should have been over like a year ago. Like, if I had known this level was this long, I just wouldn't have, I just wouldn't have bothered with this tonight. And the thing is, at this point, it's like, I just can't give up on the level. I should, but I can't. Oh my fucking god, stop going up there.
This level is something else. Seriously.
I hate that these lasers are completely anti-damage boost. Ugh, man.
Okay. Oh. Dude. Oh, wait. Don't hit that. Yeah, Oh, that's nothing.
It has to be something, but gonna have to go here, I think.
You got to refill on the magnet.
This is like the third time I have to refill. This is stupid.
Oh, that was cheap. Hey, piss off. Oh, Jesus. Come on.
I fucking hate this level.
Oh, fuck. No, he's back again. Oh, no.
Man, there's still one more token after all this shit? Are you serious?
Unfortunately. Or... Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, if only it was fucking Quillfish.
There's more to this level.
I think I'm disappearing. My personality will soon be overridden completely by Celestial Woman. I want to go, but I don't think I can do anything about it now. Reading this, you're most likely here to destroy me before Dr. Wily can use my power. If you are, be advised, I'll be much weaker at night. You must fight me at night. Dr. Varlot locked me out of access from my day and night switches, so I blew her up. Still gotta deal with you. Can't force you to fight me in daylight. How about the deal? If you mind me during the daytime, I'll bring a trickery token. Of course. So like, this really shiny huge bolt I found probably worth a lot. Be my social woman form, you'll get it. Fight me at night, you'll never find the token. Maybe that isn't a big deal for you? Like, you need this little collectible, right? Soon. I have to fight it at daytime. Oh boy. This is gonna suck.
Oh,
This
it's
is
gonna be one of
gonna
those.
suck. I'm so glad there's no weakness. I'm so glad there's no weakness with how much HP this thing have. Oh my god. Well, the closest thing I've got to a weakness is freaking Trident.
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna have to burn.
You can't be serious. You can't be expecting this of the player. This is absurd.
Makes me wonder what the judges said about this.
Well, already we know Ace Park couldn't even finish the level, so this level was disqualified in the first place.
It was?
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
god, this does so much damage. Oh good, now you're acting like a fucking capsule, Wily.
Yep. That's what it is. We gotta burn the things you gotta burn through them, man. We don't want to do this whole fucking shit again.
Jeez. I can understand how Ace Park was not able to do this shit. And how much shit is being thrown at the player in this. Oh yeah, because I have places to dodge this. Thank you. I can't even get rid of the flame with this.
Crazy.
Retating, this is fucking stupid. We're playing Mega Man, not fucking Toho. I have a huge freaking hitbox. And I'm not even good at Toho. Stop it!
God damn it. I'll blame Ace Spark for fucking...
This was submitted because this is a contest. I don't know why this was submitted. But even now.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Does this end? Like, no, seriously.
It's just an endurance kind of thing. Yeah.
You can't expect anyone to do this Buster only. Impossible. Honestly, the main problem now is that I can't even hit this boss. It's never down here.
Right.
Look at how much damage this shit does.
Alright. Last phase.
Again, this isn't Toho. What were you thinking?
This shit is showing off. If they want to make levels like this, make your own game.
Make a Toho game if you like this so much.
Alright.
I'm losing all my fucking tanks.
It is too much lights. I know the. Oh, I can't even. No, it doesn't work. Nope. Die.
Like again, Mega Man has a big freaking hitbox.
Oh.
Are you done now?
Nope, nope. Keep just shoot, just wail, just wail. There you go.
That was 1,000 volt. I'm guessing I'm not keeping that.
No, that's for all the friggin' energy tanks and the. Or the creator of this level.
I'm guessing Lunar Worm is not that bad, but if you do that, you miss on a collectible.
40 minutes.
This was awful. Absolutely awful. Ugh. Do I even want to read this right now? I guess I do.
No, I'll take over, man.
Please do at least two or three of them, please.
I mean, hell, I might as well do all of them. This level. I don't hate this by any means. The Joe Masters were a useful obstacle and a neat twist on old bosses. The day and night switches were a lovely mechanic with an excellent variety, including optional rewards for switching even when it isn't necessary. And the level design, from an outside perspective, seems conceptually sound. Unfortunately, this is bloody hard to play. The Joe Masters have entirely too much health to be the sole enemy type in the level, only exception being the completely invulnerable top Joes. Not sure if that's an improvement.
No,
as for the day-night
not.
switches, if you screw up even once, you're either fallen several feet or you're dead. Either way, you can lose a ton of progress for one mistake, and it's not easy to make that back. Combine that with a level that's over 50 screens long and whatever interesting design there is gets muffled by severe frustration factor. I wouldn't be surprised if my fun score seems lenient compared to the others, because this really was a slog.
That was 50 screen. It sure felt like way more of those. God.
There are a number of boss fights to break things up. Sadly, they're not really an improvement on the level's faults. Honey Joan is an okay fight, but the gravity shenanigans and her jumping behavior takes more time to get used to than she necessarily allows. Jojo Joe starts fine enough, but the Metal Man phase really needs to slow down on the Metal Man. Lunar Woman herself, she's fine, up until she starts firing 20 plus flashy speedy bullets all over the screen. At that point, even just parsing her attacks can be a challenge, never mind dodging them. But Celestial Woman? She warrants her own paragraph. I can see a ton of effort went into this, and I admit she's really cool to watch. Going through a recording, I can tell every attack is avoidable, and it's good that you get a health every time she drops a life bar. I wish Lunar Woman did that between phases. Unfortunately,
Oh boy.
Bullet Hell and Mega Man mix extremely poorly, especially when the boss is 5 phases, takes less damage, and spends a lot of time out of reach. It takes nearly 8 minutes to kill on a good run. The average Mega Man stage can usually be done in 3. I used up nearly every tank I had against her, and if I
Yep.
died in the later phases, I needed to restart the entire level because of restocking issues. Going through this behemoth all over again just for another fair shot. She's basically the epitome of this level. The epitome! Damn it! The epitome of this level. Really cool in concept, but the execution is just... it's too much.
It really is too fucking much.
I said epitome. God
Despite
damn
a
it.
few questionable things here and there, my initial impressions with this level were pretty good. Were they? The more it went on, however, the more frustrating it became, and it quickly began to wear out its welcome. There it is. Like I said though, things didn't start off that way. The main gimmick, while essentially just an on-off switch for platforms and lasers, is made more effective thanks to how much influence it has over the room layouts. There are some genuinely good platforming challenges centered around them, especially in the first half of the stage. The room immediately after the first switch is one of my favorites since you can actually choose between the day or night's version of that section. I really wish the level had more rooms like this, as it would have added a lot more depth. What's there in the first half is still pretty good though. I'd say the only thing that really bugs the part and unfortunately the rest of the level down are the Joe Masters. While the idea of them is fine, fighting them is more tedious than not due to how overly durable they are. It's made even worse when you consider that most of them are not unavoidable as well. Sadly, the level's issues don't end there. Once it hits the halfway point, some of the challenges go from tough but manageable to downright annoying. The vertical climb segment is one of the biggest offenders. The thing that confuses me the most about that part is the lack of indicator for where the blocks would be in the first half. The background tiles serve as telegraph for the second half, so why not have them for the first part? That really would have alleviated some of the frustration factor with that whole segment. Then there's the boss fights. While the 2 mid-boss aren't anything to write home about, except maybe for the Meltman stand throwing out blades way too frequently, the end bosses are a completely different story. Lunar Woman is a pretty rough fight thanks to her double health bar, which is not 5 health bar, but yeah, that's still pretty goddamn high. High damage output and tight projectile patterns is doable without E-tanks, but does take some practice. The same cannot be said of the other end boss. To say that Celestial Woman goes overboard would be an understatement. She is, without question, the most difficult boss out of all the entries, but for all the wrong reason. 5 health bars, each with a unique phase and desperation move, attacks that deal huge damage and take up massive screen space, projectile patterns that are near impossible to avoid, phases that often have her floating out of the player's reach for extended period of time, and it just goes on and on from there. All of this adds up for a nightmare of a fight that lasts for way too long. The elf items you get after each phase transition don't really help much, considering any benefit you get from them can be erased with just a few mistakes, and you will be making mistakes in this fight. A lot of them at that. The absolute worst part about all of that is that prior to skip teleports being introduced, it was required if you wanted to get the final token. In short, the stage and the bosses could have done with some major toning down in several aspects. God, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
No
No
more
more.
than self-deprecating. That Celestial Woman fight. It's not really an optional fight now, is it? When you lock an item behind it that counts toward completion. 5 health bars. While the boss doesn't have nerf damage and has no weakness, and too much of an invulnerability window between phases, Mega Man still has this chunky hitbox for the bullet hell patterns. It's definitely impressive programming-wise. The fact that it still doesn't make it a fun or fair fight, at least for me. Sorry, but I just don't find these kinds of fights very enjoyable, despite what my persona is based on. The normal version is fine, though I'd still give her more prominent weakness, since she's still an airborne boss with more than 1 health bar. Oh right, there was also a stage, wasn't there? I really like the use of the Sun and Moon switchers, creating the neat swapping platforming challenges, although kind of a bit demanding at some parts with the strict timing. It's satisfying once you manage it, though it could really use another checkpoint after that one laser pit crossing section.
Agreed.
The JoJo enemies, well, interesting to have them use the same attack patterns as their boss counterparts. Really would appreciate them having less health, you know? That one Gyro Man at the end was especially a huge slog when you want to go for the token, but keep dying to the tight jumps between lasers. Though I don't understand the relation between... I don't understand what relation is there between JoJo and the Celestial theming. The stage really commits to the Jo jokes. The enemies, the Jotaro mini-boss, JoJo music, tarot cards, I guess.
Flashman.
Hello. 2 critical aspects of a good level design are knowing when to give the player an advantage and recognizing when something needs to stop. If these things are overlooked or ignored by the developer, it doesn't matter how catchy the music is, how stunning the parallax backgrounds are, or how gloriously inventive some of the puzzles are. The level and its garbage difficulty are going to make people like me upset. I am me. Between fighting exhaustingly durable enemies who are uniformly weak to laser trident and nothing else, backtracking for tokens, and easily losing progress with the slightest mistake, I'm looking at you, miserable Top Joe Tower climb. It can take an extraordinary long time to reach the next checkpoint. It's not unreasonable to ask for more health refills between checkpoints. Consistent use of background graphics to indicate where the day-night interlocks will appear. The ability to use invincibility frames to sneak past lasers.
Agreed.
And any weapon refills at all.
This pisses me so much, the fact that for some reason the level creator programmed it that no matter if you're in invulnerability frame or not, you just die as soon as you touch the laser. Like, it's not even as merciful as spikes. What the hell is this? Anyways.
Level length is out of control. Fewer screens and less demanding puzzles, especially in the last third, would have helped tremendously. I could have done without the mini-bosses, who makes the level even longer. Honey Joan is essentially a Joe Master. Joe-Bot Master? With a health bar for some reason, and Jojo seems more appropriate as an end boss or secret boss. I appreciate the ingenious method of earning the final token. I do not appreciate a 10-minute struggle requiring almost every tank I have to survive. The end of an overlong puzzle level is not the right time to go full-on Toho. Oh god, what is it?
Toho. But anyways.
Tubadubaduboo, the biggest shame is that I started off loving this level. There's a sense of humor, a tangible difficulty progression, and an engaging narrative. I spelled humor the correct way because I'm not British. But by the end, I was annoyed by technical inconsistencies and utterly burned out on relentlessly punishing challenges.
Yeah, like, fucking seriously, this level was going on forever with tons and tons of instant death bullshit. Enemies that don't die, even with the trident. Good god. Alright,
And finally, the judge who couldn't finish it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the level was actually disqualified because Ace Park could not actually beat the level. Can't do this one. It fell at the last hurdle, but that boss, it is such a severe laser show. the entire screen more or less getting filled with flashing lights and rapid imagery. And it caused severe migraine. Just can't do it. This is physically impossible for me to do when I can barely look at the screen. I can force some things, but I draw the line at physical pain.
Worthless man indeed.
This level was completely disqualified, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one who needed to use all their fucking tanks for this. God damn. Obviously, we're not continuing, but I just want to find the freaking refill tank. There we go. Give me all of these back, please.
Yep.
At least I got to keep the balls, I guess.
So overall, you
Oh
love
boy,
this.
I can talk to this porta potty. That's gonna be fun tomorrow.
So apparently there's actually a reason for A-Spark's mostly negative attitude throughout all this.
Oh.
He was going through health issues at the time, to the point
Yeah.
where he simply could not play several levels and had to have somebody play for him by proxy.
Wow, okay. That sucks for him.
Like
Why
his,
are you so huge?
let me check.
Ah, okay. Oh, hey.
Here we go. Let's see. Alright. His degrading physical health got worse after his judging for the entries was finished, to the point where he announced he wouldn't post updates in the near future, 2 months before the game's launch. Even during the judging itself, he occasionally had issues with his wrist being in too much pain to play for an extended period, requiring help from fellow gamer and friend to act as a proxy player.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'd be grouchy too if that was going on.
Yeah. Huh, it actually leads you to further on. So let's see. The first level we're doing tomorrow gonna be this one. Rock Fortress, who had a 10% penalty, so 64.54. And for some reason, Meta Knight is here. We'll find out what he says tomorrow. I need to sleep for 5 years now.
Oh man.
Sounds about right.
All right, well, we'll be back for Pan Scream in the next 5 years. It'll be great.
Like seriously, don't try to Toho a Mega Man level. It doesn't work. I mean, there's actually one of the bonus stages in Magmammal 2 that had the semi-Toho boss fight where what you had to do was just dodge the attack, but they actually reduced the hitbox of your character, and you could see that it was a tiny sprite on you, and you just had to avoid with that. But this doesn't work. I refuse to believe this. I'm not even gonna look who's online. I'm just gonna stop. Have a good night, everyone. Ugh.
Laters.